Hey everyone, Peter Tomlinson here, bringing you some more jazz piano. Today's topic is going to be 4-note rootless voicings. And so if you're studying with me, then you have this as an attachment. You can print that out and refer to that as we go along. If you're not studying with me and you just happen across this video, you can find this information in a great, my favorite jazz text. It's by Mark Levine. It's called The Jazz Piano Book. And let's see if you can see it here. It's a really great book. And it's in chapter 7, I believe, under voicings. So 4-note rootless voicings, the point of these is to be able to free up your hand to be able to play what are called upper extensions. And for the most part, we're going to be dealing with adding ninths and sometimes 13ths to our chords to get a more colorful sound, more of that kind of, some people call these Bill Evans voicings. I don't think he would really want to be totally credited with developing these voicings, but you'll hear how it sort of gets you into Bill Evans land. And I'm going to begin with using the A voicings for a tune called Alice in Wonderland, and there's a great Bill Evans recording of that Sunday at the Village Vanguard. So I'm looking at the first row, what we're designating as the A voicings. And again, we have two sets of voicings to keep our chords in a good register on the piano, where they accompany the melody really well, but they don't get too low on the keyboard. So kind of a loose rule is for the A set of voicings, start by voicing those in the keys, let's say B flat through the key of F. And for the B voicings, maybe the keys of F through B. It's a very loose rule, but it kind of works in terms of keeping your chords in a good register. If you're just getting started at the sounds of rootless voicings, you might start by playing the voicing with your right hand and the root with your left hand. You'll get a much better feeling for the overall effect of these chords. And at the top, you'll also notice that the intervals are reduced to help you think about them a little bit more easily. So we're going to start with the D minor chord, and it will have the ninth on it. And the ninth is the equivalent of the second step. We call it the ninth because we build chords up in thirds like that, okay? So it's not really the second, it's the ninth. And then the fourth is equivalent to the 11th, and the 13th is equivalent to the 6th. And it's a really beautiful sound over a D minor, kind of a Dorian sound like that. So we're going to voice our D minor 7th chord as 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm going to go ahead and play the root with my left. I'm going to count up to the 3rd with my right thumb. Skip a scale step, go up to the 5th. Skip a scale step, go up to the 7th. Skip a scale step and go up to the 9th. 3, 5, 7, 9. That's a good set of intervals to memorize because you're going to be using it a lot. 3, 5, 7, 9. Now, when I go to my G7 chord, it's kind of miraculous how many of these pitches will stay the same. F becomes the 7th, A becomes the 9th, B becomes the 3rd, and E is the 13th. Smooth voice leading and a great sound. Maybe like the beginning of Wave. Okay, I've played my 2 and 5, so 7, 9, 3, 13 for the G chord, and you should memorize that also. But as you're recognizing 2-5 progressions, a quick and easy way of thinking about that is just the 7th of the 2 chord goes down a half step. Everything else will stay the same, and you have your voicing for your 5 chord. Okay, now we're going to go to the 1 chord, C major, C major 7th. Okay, again, 3, 5, 7, And just like the 3-note voicings we were studying earlier, we can substitute the 6th. Okay? They both act as the 1 chord really well. Okay? Now I've heard the sound of that with the bass playing. I'm going to try just the voicings with my left hand now and get used to doing that so I can accompany my melodies with that. 2-5-1 to C major 7, 2-5-1 to C 6. Okay, and I think I'll just quickly do a 2-5-1 to the key of B flat. I think you hear that the register is definitely not too low. You could even maybe go a little bit lower than that. It's kind of subjective. Rootless voicings. Okay, I'm going to use the tune Alice in Wonderland as a demonstration. It starts out with a 2-5-1 in the key of C, and then it kind of cycles through F major 7. Then it quickly does a minor 2-5, which I'm going to save for the another video. B minor 7 flat 5 to E7 flat 9 to A minor 7, and so forth. I'll kind of go through the way I want to voice this after I play it for you one time. So. So the first 8 bars of Alice in Wonderland. So here was my thinking behind that. Starts with 2-5-1 to the key of C major, so that's what I just demonstrated for you. The next chord is F major 7th. I could have gone from a chord that had the 3rd on the bottom to another chord that had the 3rd on the bottom, and that would have worked. I decided to go from a chord that had the 3rd on the bottom to a voicing that had the 7th on the bottom, and that would be more like a B voicing. We'll cover that in a moment, okay? And this one I'm going to completely save for my second video. It's a minor 2-5 to A minor, but I want to talk about this next chord, E flat 7 or E flat 13. Okay, and here's a very convenient thing that you can do. When you have a chord that's not really part of a 2-5 or a 2-5-1, you can think about its chord quality. In this case, it's basically a 7th chord that I want to add the 13th to. The category that this would be under would be a 5 chord, which is represent the 7th chords. And then I have one of 2 choices. I could either have the 7th on the bottom. That would be a little too high. That might be a little too low. A better one is the voicing that has the 3rd on the bottom. And again, that would be part of the B voicings, so we'll go over that again in a moment. Okay, and then another 2-5. Now here's another thing that I wanted to discuss, and that is, first of all, in this case, E minor, now I'm getting out of key with the F sharp in my left hand. To me, that sounds great. I love the sound of it. But if, for whatever reason, one of these upper extensions either clashes with the melody, or you just don't like the sound of it for whatever reason, or you just want variety, you can lower these upper extensions. I could have sounded the E, and it's still a good sounding E minor chord. Okay? And there's an A minor with the 7th on the bottom. Again, we're going to be getting to the B voicings in a moment. Getting ahead of myself a little bit, sorry. But there is the first part of Alice in Wonderland, great Bill Evans recording Sunday at the Village Vanguard. So transpose those to as many different keys. Try to use the rule as you're creating your arrangements for tunes, and of course they make great great voicings as a background